Now Sakaja faces arrest for forgery. That is the latest development on that story. And the explainer reads, the embattled Nairobi senator was last evening in the crosshairs of an international criminal investigation over his degree certificate, with Ugandan officials demanding proof of his admission to Team University. Evidence he paid tuition fees, and his transcripts. In Nairobi, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations confirmed that Mr. Sakaja and officials of the university were under investigation for transnational crime. Now, we'll get into that conversation substantively, so put a pin in it. But before then, let's get the thoughts of my panel this morning on this other story on the front page. And where did the billions go? Auditor General flags 4.6 billion shillings missing at Uwezo Fund. You'll recall that the Uwezo Fund was meant to benefit the youth, women and persons with disabilities. So we'll get into that. I'll get the thoughts of my panel in just a moment. Let's take a look at page 2 and how 4 Muranga girls were lured into Mtwapa's sex ring. That is on page 2. Let's flip over and we have my son-in-law scammed me in a 20 million shilling house deal. Should be an interesting read, no? And sibling rivalry now rocks Kenya Kwanza campaigns. Yesterday, Zainab Ismail was during the 9 p.m. news, and she brought that update about the William Kabogo side, as well as, you can see him here, Moses Kuria, raising concerns about the treatment of the other parties within the Kenya Kwanza coalition. And if I'm not mistaken, is it threatened or did actually pull out? And this report by Simon Shuri states that there were signs of movement within the Kenya Kwanza Alliance in Mount Kenya region yesterday after 2 parties skipped a Kiambu rally addressed by the presidential running mate Rigathi Gachagua. Chama cha Kazi party leader Moses Kuria and Tujibebe wa Kenya chair William Kabogo gave the meeting a wide berth a day after clashing with United Democratic Alliance gubernatorial candidate Kimani Wamatangi. And we have another presidential candidate on this page. This is page 4. And that is Waihiga. He says, I'll jail COVID billionaires in 100 days. You will recall that we ran that story by Brian Obuya on the KEMSA scam. Civil society demanding answers after that scam transpired. And they say nobody has been held to account for it. Now, Karua, do not fear selling Raila in Mount Kenya. She accuses some Azimio candidates in the region of failing to campaign for Raila, urging them not to be intimidated by crowds. And there's a quote here. And she says there are some politicians within Azimio who are asking for their votes. But when it comes to the presidential race, they tell their voters to decide for themselves. All right. And that is as far as the Azimio coalition is concerned. We flip over, and yesterday we brought you an update on the case with regards to the Monica murder. And here we're told police attempt to place Joey at murder scene. And yesterday we saw that report where they visited her former residence, and they could not access the residence because there's somebody who was already moved in. And this story by Joseph Wangwe states, investigators says suspect charged twice, I beg your pardon, investigators say suspect changed twice at victim's place and Maribe's house. A police investigation, let me just zoom in for us, a police investigator yesterday tabled various pieces of evidence in court in an attempt to link TV journalist Jackie Maribe and Joseph Irungu, alias Joey, to the murder of businesswoman Monica Kimani more than 3 years ago. Chief Inspector Maxwell Otieno also told the court that Mr. Irungu changed clothes twice at the journalist's place and the victim's house. All right, let's take a look at what's on the other pages. I flip over, and scandal of 4 billion shillings that Uwezo Fund chiefs cannot account for. There's some numbers here, and 7.1 billion shillings, the amount Uwezo Fund says it disbursed to 76,474 groups in all constituencies, but puts the figure at 6.1 billion on its website. 100,000, the maximum amount first-time borrowers can get from the fund, with the minimum amount being 50,000.